The Cheating Secrets channel welcomes you. Enjoy today's tale, we hope. However, it was painful when it occurred. After all, Dave and I have 2 kids and have been married for 25 years. You told him what? We agreed on almost the same thing. I didn't dispute it. John, you are aware that I am not a habitual liar. And? I much followed the script you recommended, as I mentioned. I was honest with him. How come? Who are you? A lady with a successful career? Not even a lawyer? She has spent nearly her whole conscious life married to a plain mechanic. A man who never made an effort to improve himself. You wanted to be with an alpha guy for the first time in your life. Crazy if you think I ever believed a liar like you. 10 p.m. On the same day as the epilogue. Jennifer Brown sat on the side of the road in her stranded vehicle. She had no cash and her credit cards were empty, so it was just a matter of time until she ran out of petrol. Luckily, Dave hadn't considered disconnecting her phone. Or was he intentionally mean? Seeking refuge, she was heading to the city where her 2 children now resided. They had never taken more than an hour to reply to her mails in all the years. Just after 10 in the morning, she began phoning them. She looked over her texts once again. Nothing. With a groan, Jenny picked up her worthless purse and got out of the car. She walked onto the shoulder, straightened her skirt, and gave a thumbs up. A lone woman on the side of the road caught the attention of a predator driving up in a dilapidated van, who grinned to himself. Someone on par with you. A man who is capable of taking charge, not one who indulges your every need. Yes, in a big way, but don't minimize him too much. He now has his own company, and his job supported me and the kids. I simply felt like I deserved someone like you while we practiced this. But when he reminded me of years of financial and emotional support, it all looked a little phony. Does that make sense to you? Have you told him everything? What happens if he rejects the current quo? After that, the business will help you through the divorce and leave him with nothing. Yes, John, I did. The only issue is that he didn't appear to care about any of this. He simply continued saying that after all of his commitment, he couldn't believe I was abandoning him. John, I have to admit that it hurt. I made an effort to assure him that I wasn't rejecting him. I don't believe he realized that I simply feel like I should have a bit more. John, I don't want to lose him. Jen, a bit more? I'm appalled. Dear, you mentioned that you appreciated my large instrument. You told me it transported you to locations you hadn't been to with your former husband for years. Did you mention that you've never had this kind of sex? Yes, John, I did. However, I also told you that when I married Dave, he was always very kind, so I didn't have that experience. You're so demanding, so domineering, so unusual. I was simply enthralled. Yes, sweetheart, and I will continue to ruin you. Your spouse will just need to come to terms with the fact that you have gained another dimension. He was no longer the alpha man with you. He will need to accept that I am the dominant man in this situation. The idea that I was worth 25 years of marriage to you makes me uneasy. What do you know? I'll have some paperwork ready before I visit him this afternoon. Give me the address of his workshop. John, which documents? Jen, whatever that comes to mind. We play a game with all these naive fools, you know. A restraining order that keeps him away. From your house, myself, or you. Freezing his company's bank accounts. And that's only the start. Throwing documents at him that he has no right to know about. It's only a bluff. Soon, your little spouse will understand without a doubt who the alpha is. I promise you, sweetheart, that when I finish torturing him, he will beg you to give him everything you want. John, I'm not sure. His face was hidden from you this morning. 1417. Could I enter, Master Brown? My name is. I am aware of your identity. That saves time. All right. Jenny informed you this morning, I think, that our arrangement with her will last for as long as it takes. She may not have explained to you why you should let this. I would appreciate it if I could just leave my portfolio here. I'm not sure whether you know, but Jenny works for a firm that I own. As a result, I have access to more than 20 attorneys, all of whom I can guarantee were selected based on their exceptional record of winning cases. Over half of them have family law experience. And believe me, I'll point them all in your direction without hesitation. I created these docs just this morning. Allow me to briefly review them. This is a petition for divorce. Your wife has already signed it, you see. This is a directive to freeze your company's accounts until it is sold under a worldwide contract. You have 24 hours to vacate your marital residence. You are confined by these restraining orders. 200 meters or more from me. Jenny, our office, and her house. Dave, do you see where this is all going? I will overwhelm you with litigation to the point where you are immobile. When you will run out of money to hire a better attorney in the world, you will give up. And what do you know? I'll be having sex with your wife the entire time. Indeed, I can see that you are more powerful and strong than I am. However, you have to realize that the world is no longer ruled by Neanderthals. Long ago, brains won out over muscles. It shouldn't be this way, Master Brown. Pay attention. Absolutely not. Let's just keep things as they are, shall we? You'll sleep with her when she wants to, and I'll keep sleeping with her whenever I want. Similar to the previous 4 months. Why cause trouble, hey? She will eventually grow tired of me and return to you. Okay, I've said what I had to say. Come on, let's be honest. If you were all she required. If we were here today, we wouldn't be. Simply accept it, give it some thought, and see it as a chance to better yourself. However, I would advise you to distance yourself from your wife, friend. Because I was an alpha male and informed her how it would end, exactly like I'll deal with you. I took her away from you not because I was the most charming man who attempted. Big mouth, are you done talking? I notice that you don't know what the phrase alpha male implies, much like the majority of people in today's culture. Would you want to hear it explained by a basic mechanic? Tell me what this means, please. It's better to see once than to hear 100 times, as they say. After saying this, Dave moves forward and delivers a right punch to the lawyer's face. There's a pleasant crunch of teeth shattering. John collapses to the ground, putting his back against the wall of the workshop, his face, which is unharmed, clearly showing complete shock. Let's examine the first illustration. Dave raises John to his feet before the pain really starts, but he down him again right away with an uppercut to the diaphragm. John is lying on his side this time, gasping for air. And this is the second illustration. As the results of Dave's search begin to become apparent, the lawyer's outstretched arm is struck by Dave's right steel-capped boot, shattering his wrist and many hand bones. Dave's anger was temporarily contained as the boots booted him in the chest, shattering 3 ribs. And they were the third and fourth illustrations. And if you would stop screeching, Master, Alpha, it would be really helpful. I'm attempting to impart knowledge to you. Thank you, by the way, for forcing me to violate the vow I made to myself in school to never use my power, size, or fury. Before you stormed in here and agitated me tonight, I was going to spare you the repercussions of Jen's behavior. There are moments when even composed guys lose it. To get John's attention again, Dave puts his foot on his throat. Let's return to your schooling now. Wolf packs are the source of the term alpha male. The only wolf that gives orders to everyone else is him. He may not be the most intelligent or even the largest wolf, but he is the most vile person in the area. The one who murders without doubt. Son, you are nothing compared to his ruthlessness. In your air-conditioned office you could be an alpha, but in the real world you're just another dreadful wolf's bedding. And you're not particularly smart, in my opinion. You scumbag, you didn't even bring any witnesses. Let's now examine the potential future. Reporting this to the police is the first course of action. I may get arrested. Or perhaps not. I could be released on bail. Or perhaps not. They could blame me for it. Or perhaps not. John, there are a lot of maybes. In the worst situation, I'll be imprisoned for 5 years. 5 years of studying how to kill, injure, and conceal a body such that no one ever discovers it. We'll have another discussion like this once I complete my apprenticeship. You can attribute this to experience or loud talker. Make use of it as one of your teachings on the consequences of sleeping with someone else's wife. Get lost immediately. You're bleeding, and for heaven's sake, urinating on my lovely, spotless workshop floor, so I've had to clean things up. Alpha? My fucking ass. I'll be at the office waiting for you, John. I assumed you had been back for a long time. You're where? After spending 3 hours in the operation room, Jen, I was just admitted to the ward. What happened? My God. Were you involved in an accident? No, once more. I thought your spouse was too little. I foolishly went to visit him by myself. My nose, left arm, many ribs, and probably my cheekbone were all broken by him. John, I can't believe this. He has never been unkind. As far as I know, it's true, I assure you. I can show you. The x-rays if you'd like. God, oh God, this is unbelievable. Not my Dave. Is there anything that can prevent you from calling the police? We have some responsibility. Dave is not deserving of going to jail for this. The cops have already made a call. I informed them that an unidentified motorist had struck me, Jen. Even though things are terrible for me right now, your kind, compassionate husband assured me that this is only the beginning of what will happen if I file charges. Yes, Jenny, I can't take the chance once more. I've made up my mind to remain silent. John, that seems a little ridiculous. You appear to be scared of him. It's simply unbelievable. Dave wouldn't harm a living thing. I have fractured bones to prove it, so trust me. Jen, I'm simply doing what I have to do to stay alive, and I have to leave now. I've been given a lot of painkillers, and they are beginning to work. The following day at John's hospital bed, 9 to 18 a.m. John? I need your assistance, John. I worked till 8 last night. I wasn't sure whether returning home would be safe. Dave never answered the phone when I tried to contact him to ask. All the locks had been replaced by the time I plucked up the nerve to return home. I was unable to enter. Ultimately, I remained at my sister's house. All of our bank accounts are empty, and none of our credit cards are functioning, according to my morning check. I need your assistance. Could you ask one of the divorce handling guys to begin Dave's removal from the house? Until then, may I remain with you? No. John, but why? Due to all of this. He'll have an excuse to target me once more if I utilize the company's resources and assets to assist you. I'm going to cover myself, actually. Jin, you're fired. If you pack everything and get out today, I'll give you an additional 4 weeks of severance compensation. If you see Dave, could you kindly let him know that I fired you? John, have you not heard me? I was cleaned out by Dave. I'm doomed from the beginning if I don't have any money, a job, and your assistance. Jin, I sincerely apologize. When your spouse was hitting me, you were blind to his face. I'm taking the necessary action. John, you're pathetic. You boasted about being an alpha man yesterday. You're shaking today and fearing that my spouse, who is 10 times your size, is hidden beneath your bed. If I were to end up with you, how could I ever imagine myself as a queen? The first can't understand it, and you're.
I should have felt bad for being such a jerk, but I was just happy. I could see that Maria's life was going to be miserable from now on. I had always wanted to open a branch in Europe, and there was a construction company for sale in Germany. I was sure that Jake would be the perfect person to be my eyes and ears there. I've come this far, haven't I? Tearfully tearing their lives apart piece by piece. Ben's dead. He died 5 years after Maria's wedding. I remember how it hit me, but it didn't really sink in. I felt worse when I lost my goldfish as a child. She's living off of food stamps after I fired her from 3 jobs. She knows I won't let her off the hook, not after everything. She knows there's only one way out of this mess. From what I've heard, she's saved just enough to buy a gun. In a few more weeks, she might even have enough for the bullet. Then it will be over. I wonder if she thinks about it every night, wondering how much more she can take. And here I am, wondering if I should stop. Should I be kind? Should I let her live? If you can even call what she's doing living. Part of me knows I could if I wanted to. I could back off and stop crushing her into the ground. But the other part of me is still hungry. It feels like there's something left to take from her. I thought revenge would feel different. I thought once Ben was gone and I'd seen Kathy's life fall apart, I'd feel something more than this. Happiness? Peace? I'm not sure, but I do know that I've won. If that's what you call it, I've taken everything from her, but I still feel angry. Should I stop? Should I let her buy that gun and end it? Or should I finally let go? I've been angry for so long that I don't know what's left of me without it. Maybe I'm too far gone to stop. Or maybe letting go is the only way to find peace for myself. But can I even do that after everything? I don't know. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this.